So let's just save off this one here. Let's call this demo 11. And we're going to save off the model pieces just by itself. So let's go back to our home. If I pull up the project ribbon, I did that by going to home and then clicking this little extended groups property icon here. And it pulled up the project panel. And you can see we have 15 pages in our document. Just a little tip here. This is where you would be able to reorganize your pages. Dragging them to different spots on this tree here would do that. But what I'm really here for is to show that this is the model that we did all this work on. And we have different illustrations and different configurations. So I'm just going to right-click this, and I'm going to export this as a QSM. That will allow us to reuse the work we did here, the exploded view, for example, in a different document style. So we're going to export that, and we'll just say power supply demo 11, and that will save off just the model component. It won't save off the page design side of it. And that allows us to do what we're going to do next, which is go in and do a new from template, and we're going to do a very rapid 3D PDF here. We're going to take an engineering document. There's a bill of materials one here. We're going to browse, and instead of bringing in the solid assembly, we could do that, but we're going to bring in the QSM, Quadraspace Model. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can reuse that exploded view we already created. And we'll hit open. And then what this will do is insert the 3D model we were working on in one document into the template layout of another document. So this document, very simple, straightforward, has a couple buttons. I can hit explode, and it will animate the explode sequence of that part. I can hit assemble, and it'll put it back together. Then I can click on any of the items in my parts list, and it will highlight that item in the 3D scene. And from there, you can publish this. I'm not going to do it because we're kind of running out of time, but you can publish to a PDF. And under 3D settings, if you want it to be interactivity, if you want to maintain the ability to rotate that 3D model once it's in a PDF format without any plugins or anything, you'll just want to check this, publish interactive 3D. And then there's some various options that you can check on how it actually gets published. And then you would hit Create PDF, and that would generate you a PDF that looked just like this, had a 3D model that was rotatable inside the PDF, and then the interactivity would be maintained. You'd still be able to click the different buttons or click the different elements in the tree. Now, before I get to the final part of this and the questions, I just want to make a mention of update capabilities. The product includes the ability to update a document. It's right here under the configurations ribbon. And this is used when your 3D CAD design changes, so your engineering department has revised the solid assembly or the inventor model, and you need to update your documents. It's a simple process of updating using this button and selecting the revised design. It can have the same file name, but you re-import the 3D model, and all of your graphical content will be updated to match the 3D, the new 3D content coming out of engineering. That means that your work, such as exploded views, won't be disrupted. You'll still have those. You'll still have all the viewpoints and all the markups and everything that you've worked on as a documenter side, and but you'll have a revision of the document to be revision 2 or 3 or whatever. And we'll talk about it in a lot more depth. If you're interested in that one and more, then I encourage you to come to the advanced features webinar that we'll have, I think, next Tuesday. So that's pretty much my basic demo for today. We're going to take some questions here at the end. Let me flip back to the presentation, and I would like to go through the last of the presentation here, and then I'll take the questions. Okay, so you should now, let's see. Let me make sure you guys are able to see this. Okay, you should now see the PowerPoint. Oops. Now, I'm just going to point out one of the major Pages differences, it should be pretty obvious by now after seeing the demo there, is the integration of 3D and page design. We were doing all our 3D work right there inside the document authoring environment, and we were doing all the document authoring right there with the easy ability to just step over, work on 3D as needed. I mean, we did exploded views and we typed some text. We generated step-by-step processes and we typed the descriptions around that. So putting those all together makes it a lot easier to put these documents together. And that's one of our major differences. Let's see. Okay. As I alluded to a few times, we're going to have an Advanced Features 2011 webinar. There's a sign-up link here. I'll send this out to everybody this afternoon after the demo so that you can sign up for this one too. It's going to cover the following: large model management, which would be a lot of configurations, the updates that we talked about. We're going to put it more depth on the smart template technology. I showed you a couple very easy ways of using that, but there's some very significant ways of tying that to configurations and to using it in even better time savings ways. I'm going to put some more emphasis on bill of materials, how to work with those, what kind of steps you might expect to do to get bill of materials in from your PDM system, etc. We may talk a little more about exploded view tools, the ability to scale, group, rotate those instead of just the straightforward translations that we did today. You can also merge models. So say you have a Pro E and SOLIDWORKS, you want to bring them together. You can do that within Quadraspace. And we may go over some of the custom user libraries and the material library in a little more depth in the advanced features one. So you don't really have to write that down. I'll send you that link following this demo. Publisher 3D, that's the other product line that we offer for creation of illustrations and animations. We did a demo on this a couple weeks ago. If you missed that, send me an email or reply to the follow-up you'll get this afternoon and say, I'd like a link to the, just let me know you'd like a link to the video. We put it online so that you can go access it and view it at your own time. And there's that webinar. We showed a few things today, quite a bit. There's a lot more depth to the product. This just kind of points out that there's a lot more things that you can do. If we didn't cover something and you think might have been important, it may not be because the product doesn't have it. It's likely because we just didn't have time to cover that. And this is how we kind of match up against others in the market. In the Pages 3D side, we're pretty unique, so it's hard to find direct competition that both combines the 3D with the page design together. I think you might can get to something, I don't even know, but something that's attempting to do closer is to those very expensive dynamic publishing solutions that merge the text, but it's a little more of a process instead of an authoring tool in that case. So, and then we talked about how Publisher 3D matches up with some of the competitors in the previous seminar.